Roll call, please.
Mark Lottery.
Here.
David Kessler.
Here.
Diane Kramer. Nancy Ellen.
Yes.
Martin Kessler.
Here.
Gary Fairfield.
Here.
Jenny Wickett.
Call to order. Is Faith here?
Faith is right there.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't see you behind Steve there. You want to speak?
What do you apply there?
No, I didn't see you behind me either. No, I didn't.
Done with it. You guys aren't full of dirt.
Yeah, sorry, Faith.
That's
You want
okay.
to speak?
Yes.
You just stand. Yeah, you stand up here.
I'm going to be passing.
Thank you.
Some of these. So, I wanted to speak to you today. If you don't know me, my name is Dr. Faith Charleroi. I'm a professor at Duquesne University. I'm a fellow at the Oxford University Center for Animal Ethics. And I have the Fluffy G Fund for Females. Okay. Several years ago, we came to Charleroi. I spent over $6,000 of my own money, plus grant money, and we cleaned up all the cats off the street. We did trap, neuter, vaccinate, return. If you're unfamiliar with that, it started in Rome. And in Rome, it is a crime to harm the cats or the people who feed the cats. Okay? And trap, neuter, vaccinate, return means you trap the cats are spayed or neutered, they're vaccinated for rabies and distemper, FVRCP, and they're ear tipped and they're returned to a caregiver simply because there's not enough homes. Since then, there's been several things that have happened in Charlotte. One, you have Sam Vargas dumping cats here. He's animal control, not here, but other places. Okay? You also have people that are feeding cats that fail to seek help to get them vaccinated and returned. For instance, a woman watched 4 kittens suffer for 4 days and did nothing. She should be charged with animal neglect and abuse and go to jail. But nothing happened to her. I have the kittens we vetted. You have rescues that have no funding. You cannot be a rescue if you do not have money. For example, today I took a cat from Mariana. It cost $600 at Brush Run. I paid for that because he had to have a leg amputated. So we have that problem. And the feeders, right? So the cats here are the victims. They are not the culprits. And the problem arises from human irresponsibility. So we're going to try to clean up Charleroi again. But I am asking you to consider enacting ordinances that will prevent this from happening again. Anybody who has rental property can require that anybody owning pets has their pets spayed or neutered and vaccinated. I would also suggest you call in dog law, have them go door to door, and find everybody who's not up to date on shots of all of their animals. Pennsylvania allows for a fine of $300 per day for every animal over the age of 3 months that's not vaccinated. Okay. The other thing that can be done is you can require people feeding cats to have them spayed or neutered. But that's not what's happening. And I pass out these things if you're really, the FBI made animal abuse a Category A felony 2 years ago. The reason for that is the high correlation, and this is nothing new. You can go back to the 18th century philosopher Kant. There's a strong correlation between animal abuse and human abuse. And if you look at that, it's evident in school shootings, domestic violence, and violent crime. If you don't do anything to these people, they just kind of flip off the law. As Fuller says, a law that's not enforced is not a law. So I'm basically telling you we're having the fundraiser. I will come here, I will trap all the cats, I'm charging nothing. I'll hold them at my farm, they'll be transported to Animal Friends. They will be spayed or neutered, they will be ear tipped, they will be treated for fleas, they will be vaccinated, hold them for 2 days, and we return them to a caretaker. The only thing we need the funds for are to pay Animal Friends, which is a veterinary fee of $45. But there's really no excuse for these people. We have low-cost clinics in New Eagle once a month at least. We used to have them in Charleroi, but even though they were free, the people didn't even bother to come. I guess it's too hard to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm asking you to enact ordinances that will prevent this from happening again. Now, if you know what happened in Menneson, they had this big war on the cats. What is Menneson currently overrun with? And they just asked the state to help bail them out. Rats. I don't think the state should help them. If they'd have left the cats alone, they wouldn't have the rats. Also, here, there's people claiming the rats are moving up the hill here. My suggestion would be to contact California University, ask their biology department to do a study of what's changed in the environment that's changed the rats' migration, because animals don't usually go from the normal path. I understand there's one house that claims it has rats. There must be some anomaly in that house, because why do none of the other houses have rats? So scientifically, you would look for that anomaly or that variable of why there's rats at that house. And it's usually filth, dog feces. For some reason, a lot of dog feces attracts rats. I don't know why. It's eating birds, leaving all the seed on the ground. So that's just what I'm asking you. I will come in here, we will trap, we're waiting to raise money because unfortunately none of these people contacted us. And we only have grant money of $15,000 which used up. Okay, so we're raising funds and I'll come and take them all. But somebody's got to do something about these people that just throw their cats. That's a felony, by the way. I guess it was 5 cats left on the street in the box. So if you have their picture, they can be prosecuted. And you do know the state auditor general is investigating the failure of the enforcement of Act 10, which is a new animal cruelty law. And Washington County has one of the lowest prosecution rates. We clean everybody out.
Faith, you mentioned a few minutes ago to council that you'd like to see the council consider some ordinance change. Do you have any sample ordinances you can?
Exactly what I was going to ask.
We can get you some, yeah. Because one of these houses here are rented, so that gives you an advantage. They're finding the property.
We are over 50% around.
Right, so an owner of rental property can require spay, neuter, vaccinate of their animals, right? Where if it's private, it's a little more difficult. But if all the federal and state housing requires that.
I think one of the issues that Bobby is really great in his role, one of the issues we have is that we have, I wouldn't say relatively weak ordinances. We only have 2 that specifically deal with this issue. So if there's things that we could better equip Bobby with, and the police can respond with.
And you do know you have an ordinance about you can only own so many cats, but you know that has been overturned by the state Supreme Court in a Carnegie case.
We've used it, I'd say, judiciously in situations where numbers have grossly exceeded the limitation.
And a lot of the times, you can usually get the people for unsanitary conditions.
They can sort of go hand in hand.
Well, yeah, because if you have like 60 cats in your house, you probably have unsanitary conditions, right?
I have two quick questions. Just for my, you kept saying ear tipping, I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay, so if you see an ear tip cat, the tip of the left ear is straight. It started in Italy, it's an international symbol. When they're under anesthesia, they take the tip off of the left ear. That means that cat has been spayed, neutered, and vaccinated. Another advantage of vaccinating outside cats, you keep the rats away, but they also form a barrier between humans and wildlife for rabies, because they're vaccinated. So that's why USDA kind of likes the program, because the cats are another barrier.
Okay, and then the other question I have, you said that Sam, I don't remember last time you said,
Larvis.
is dumping cats and he's...
Yeah, dumping them at Lulu's,
So-
Lion
Let's
Restaurant.
give them to Lulu.
Yeah.
So just give them to her, but he's not just dumping in general now.
Not that
We
we
don't
are
know.
aware of.
Maybe.
So that if
He could be, because he was doing it in Mingo until people pointed it out. He
So-
was hard.
And I know, Nancy, you've been very involved with our case. So my question is he being named, are we able to go after him also? Are we currently going after him? Is that possible, Steve?
He actually came to testify.
Yeah.
It is, but he's been cooperative.
Okay.
He has.
Okay, so then he's kind of backed off on doing that, so he's no
As
longer...
far as we're aware.
Okay.
The other issue there is, I don't believe in most places you're allowed to operate a commercial business in a residential.
There's a zoning issue.
Yeah,
It's-
so that-
We've enforced the zoning requirements. Mac and all those with various citations, there are zoning office. So we've taken both approaches, but I think if we had better tools in our toolbox, if we were suggesting some
And
ordinance
the cats are
updates.
the victims, you actually remember that. This is not their fault. And they don't deserve to be killed because humans are irresponsible.
I think if you could give us a sample or two of an ordinance, and we can have
between you and Jenny, we could look at it and kind of tweak it so it fits us, particularly. So that wouldn't be hard to do.
Yeah, it would just be requiring basically people to have their dogs and cats spayed neutered if they're on rental property and up to date on vaccines. And dog law can come in here and go house to house. I mean, Pennsylvania's fines $300 a day. There's really no, yeah, it is state.
So why would we have to make an
Well, you don't have to. I'm saying ask dog law to come in. They'll go door to door, and that they have the right to say, can I please see your rabies vaccine certificate and your dog license?
But if we mirror the ordinance with some of those laws, that gives Bobby more authority, which is exactly what Tally's very excited about here. That
The borough could actually cite.
the borough can do the citation instead of Chad. Chad spent all year with delinquent sanitation. I don't want to put him on a year for rabies vaccinations too.
I actually live 4 doors from Lulu's, and recently, I want to say they are dumping half-grown cats, like in between the kitten and the cat stage, because my porch is overrun with them. I don't want to hurt them, but I'm tired of them ruining my stuff on my porch furniture and stuff. Is there
understandable.
something that you can suggest that
Well,
I can spray or whatever?
there's
It's not going to
different-
hurt them. that-
Yeah, there's
that we keep
different
them away.
sprays you can buy. You could spray that repels cats, cat repellent. You could try that. Once we address this issue up here with the 20 cats, I told Nancy we should trap those cats outside there, but we need to find a farm to relocate
I
them
might
to.
have a farm.
And a farm has to keep them in,
Today.
you have to keep them in traps or cages, not traps, for 2 weeks to get them accustomed to the farm. Like, right now, I have 90 farms with probably 5,000 cats on them. All spayed neutered, the farms take great. Sussex Dairy Farm, it's a beautiful farm.
My son helps work out there.
Does he have our cat? She's wonderful. She takes really good care of the cats. We just have to finish the kittens. That's really the best place for them. Urban areas aren't really the greatest because there's a lot of human predation, right? So for Lulu's cats or whoever's cats are coming on your porch, you could put that, but once we get enough money, maybe let us trap on your porch. But we need to find a farm that we can spay neuter the cats and relocate them to that farm.
I just want to say, Faith, that in regards to those 5 kittens that were put on their porch, I have asked Chad to try and review the tape, the camera tape, to see if we can identify the person.
Then they should have charges pressed.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all I wanted to say. I'm here to stick up for the cats.
Any information you can give us to help us, we'd appreciate it.
But it's the same people over and over. There's some kind of thing about them. There's one person here, I don't mention her name, who did a ton of cats for her free. She refuses to neuter her male cat. She doesn't like to be fried when it's fun. That's
That
what
was
she
her
said.
farm. That was actually her farm. Oh, I don't want to say the name either.
But, you know, I mean, it's just over and over with these people.
But she actually did make that comment.
All right, thank you.
Well,
Thanks, Dave.
And we'd appreciate whatever you can do. Okay.
Folks, it does say that we were going to do the agenda meeting, but looking at the discussion items, I believe if no one has any problem, we're going to just go straight into the regular meeting. Everything's pretty straightforward on the discussion items. Sanitation contracts, the only thing that you have to possibly talk about, you have to do it. In executive session, we can do that. Anyone here have any problems with going straight into the?
Long as you, so it's okay.
Yep. Anyone have, Mark, anyone?
I wasn't arguing.
Well, no, I'm asking. I didn't have a problem with it, I already asked you. All right, no one have a problem. All right, we're going to go into discussion items. Pay accessible parking application.
I mean, don't normally,
Yeah, okay, that's what, yep.
I know it's kind kind of.
Yeah, it's out of order on the
That's
front
fine.
sheet. And I
And
think-
whatever the way you want to do it, but I think it's what you usually do, keep it simple.
Yeah, we can do that. Actually, I sort of like that.
The other way.
This one here. Are you ready? We're going to go into the standing committees, finance, Janine. Mayor report first.
Jerry,
Oh, I'm sorry.
do the minutes.
You're all over the map.
I am all over the map because they're cattywampus here, they're upside down. We're gonna have regular meeting approval of July 10th, that's today. How do we approve that?
June 12th. June 12th, Jerry.
Regular meeting of June 12th of 2019. Can I have a motion to approve that?
Motion. Second.
Roll call?
Mark Rodriguez,
Yes.
Joe Chapman,
Throw me off the message.
Nancy Allen,
Yes.
Mark Casper,
Yes.
Gary Jericho,
Yes.
Jenny David.
All right, mayor's report.
The only thing I have is the firemen are holding a $3 fundraiser on Friday, July 19th, 2000.
What was that date?
Friday, July 19th, next Friday. $3 ticket.
All righty, that's all you have?
Okay.
Now we'll get into report of the standing committees. Finance, Janine?
Marty, would you like to?
Sure, total bills paid, $60,308.60. Total bills to be paid, $98,542.98. And total for all bills, $158,851.58.
Anyone have anything? We have roll call,
I need a motion.
motion.
Second.
Okay, now roll call.
Mark Rodriguez,
Yes.
Jerry Chapman,
Yes.
Nancy Allen,
Yes.
Mark Casper,
Yes.
Gary Jericho,
Yes.
and Jenny David.
In absence of Heidi, Nancy, do you have anything under personnel?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Public Works, Nancy.
Yes. Okay, the street crew has been very busy. They cleared and cleaned the boat launch, and I'd like to pass all these pictures around that shows what the guys did down there. Very nice, and they also built this little water tank thing. And so they're really proud of that. And the rest of the pictures are all the garbage and cleaning up, I know, cleaning up they did on the banks down there at the boat launch. So I want to commend them for the job that was done down there. And they've been cutting and trimming around the equipment at the playgrounds after they have cut all the grass up there in all the playgrounds. They've uncovered a manhole on Shady Avenue, and they have to shore that up. I don't believe that it's to the extent the one on 8th Street is at. Patching sidewalks, and they've been patching on the borough property. There are borough lots that were cut with the tractor, and the crew has blacktopped, and they're hoping to get 4 more tons of blacktop to work on 12th Street. So that's my report on that.
Any of y'all talk to the borough workers, please thank them personally for me for doing the launch.
I I did tell them that you said thank you when I called you.
Is that on a blue hose?
I'm not sure.
I know the other day when I was down there, it was there, and it goes into the river, and I just wondered whose blue hose and what they were doing. They had a pump, and they were sucking water out of the river, and that hose is there, and I wondered, it's still there.
I don't know, I'll ask Jerry.
And I know that's too big for what they built, and they use a regular hose on that. Mark, you have anything for Public Works?
And just as a follow-up to that, with the getting the docks back in, I was talking to Ben Brown about something else today, and he suggested we get Catherine McCullough a call, because I guess they have a group from Rivertown that actually will come out and help with them in, and they kind of do it as a little, I'll say, we're going to do a big deal with this, so he just told me that this afternoon, call her about it.
We need to
And I
repair it
did.
first.
Well, yeah, since but there's one of the wheels, I think one of the wheels, four,
There's 4 wheels
but
there.
there's nothing missing though. But he told me they're still usable. He looked at them, they're still usable.
Well, the wheels are gone. They're gone.
Okay, that's different, that's different with missing, because I talked to him, because they're missing. He told me there was nothing missing.
Yes,
I go down, you can see them. They're not there.
Okay.
Unless they pick them up.
There's 4 of them missing and a couple pins,
There's
but
only-
we need to be able to lock those pins in place.
I agree.
There has to be a way that we can lock those. Them pins, if they have to go to a hardware store, they sell pins with holes in them that we can put a padlock in.
And I am working with Crystalline to see what cameras we can get in down there.
Anyone else have anything under Public Works? Okay, we'll move on. Code, Jody?
Well, I happened to be reading the newspaper today, and there was, I never look at the classifieds, and there was a classified in there that said a licensed contractor wanted immediately to repair damage done to our Charleroi home resulting from an automobile crashing into it or possibly demolishing home if too costly. And it's the one that has been paying.
So they're looking for somebody to demo it?
Or fix it up either way.
They put an ad in.
Yeah, because I had told him, I said, when you send a letter, you follow it up with a certified letter, because he kept saying he wasn't getting anything. So he sent him the certified letter, and apparently, and did you do $1,000 a day on that? Yeah, that's what I told him to do, so apparently that got his attention. So,
Okay, Bobby, you want to give a report?
They got turned one over to lunch with, or Roberta, I'm sorry. She'd be in, I can't remember the numbers.
Violations sent out 135, citations written 79, and 2 inspections.
and he won several cases.
I won about 7 cases so far over the match. We haven't lost one, so we got 7, and I got probably about 10 hearings next week. We're doing pretty good over there.
There is on, we've got the Champagne Republic finally loses one.
Good. Mark, you have anything?
No, he's doing a great job. And aside from winning the cases, I know, and I've talked about several, again, him just going and talking to people, and they followed up on just like being there.
You're seeing the difference around town. You're
Right,
around
exactly.
town, you're seeing the difference.
Oh, that's Nancy. When the guys get freed up and done with the parks,
Yes?
maybe we could start them early in the morning and they can go around and just, all the poles and there's grass and weeds growing up through all the poles, around all the meter poles and stuff,
Okay.
telephone poles.
All right.
Probably the earlier the better. I don't care if they start an hour early.
Hey, Jared, is that lot down across from Casey's place, in between? That's a private lot? Is there anything we can do about those weeds?
I think Bob had already said something to that. That was when you and I talked about that.
Yeah, I did too. All right, I'll, tomorrow, I'll look it up.
I got
Get
an
a good
email,
address.
say something to me like, I could do something about it.
No, I remember they used to call cops when people parked there. And they
Yeah.
had tags, and now I know that's not ours.
Yeah.
I'll get
I was
one.
one of them.
When you're saying the trees, just a thought, someone put this out there, we came up with. As far as I know, and maybe we can have TJ double check, the lights at the bases of all those old trees, and even the ones that don't have the trees anymore, I don't think any of those outlets work. That are bases of those. And some of them we have that are just a grate with no tree in it, a pole.
Tommy Earl would probably have an answer, which ones work, which ones don't.
But what I'm getting at is not that as much as, let's maybe take a look at it. When we talk to Tommy, see if he thinks it's feasible. I think some of those ones we should just consider filling in. Because they're a trip hazard.
Yeah.
They're an absolute hazard. There's no tree in them. I don't think it's a drainage issue because there's gravel on top, but it should be concrete underneath, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. You run into any kind of runoff issue.
That would be a good winter project, I would think.
I don't know if it's a winter, but everyone take a look at it. It's something we need to consider soon. It is a liability we have. It's going to get worse.
Isn't that part of the MS4?
Pardon me?
Isn't that part of the MS4 where you need to have water runoff?
But it's concrete underneath there. So
No, I mean, you're talking about filling in the grates.
Right.
No, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it into the curb anyway, and it's gonna go to the nearest,
I don't know if that
nearest
would
catch
be-
basin. So,
So you have trees in there, so you
Yeah.
can't concrete.
no, it filters down through. It would filter, but it would just filter into the ground. So, but you're not gonna harm anything by doing that, because you'll still fit within your MS4, because you're gonna put it into the curb line of McCain. It's gonna go to, it'll just flow naturally to the nearest catch basin. Now, we're gonna make sure the catch basins are clean and, so you'll add a little bit more sheet flow into the street, but it's not gonna hurt.
Whatever we need to do, just
Yeah,
we
it's
do that or something. Because right now is the hazard, so we can't do that. We need to look at something to avoid the
No, you
hazard.
can do it, it'll stay in the curb line. Call her.
Now, I have a question.
Yeah,
So on Fifth and Battlefield, on the corner, you're going up Fifth Street, would be on the right. All those bricks came up out of the ground. That's more of a hazard than what you're talking about.
How come those sidewalks never got done like the rest of them
Didn't have enough money. Funding.
Well, something needs to be done with that. Bad.
did? Yeah, there's a
It's-
big
it's
stack of
bad.
bricks there, you're right.
There's a stack of bricks, there's uneven bricks. I mean, yeah, they're everywhere.
You guys can use CDBG money to finish those sidewalks if you want.
Have the guys temporarily take them, clean it up. They're gonna have blacktop, just to smooth it over. I know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Throw some blacktop in there.
It's right where the pharmacy used to be,
Yeah.
on the
It's
north.
like,
Going down Fifth.
right where I
It's
go.
bad. They need, yeah, right by, they need to take those
Okay,
bricks
you
out of
want
there
them
and
to-
fill it in.
Just put some blacktop in there while they can, temporarily, just to make it safe. We gotta make an attempt to fix that.
Is it,
Where else?
Ed's saying that on the opposite side where the old Army Navy store.
Army, Navy,
Yeah.
anything else?
Take your bricks out and don't just let them lay where they are. Get them off of the street.
You know what else, Nancy?
Anything else?
Yeah, right out here on the front where the light is,
Right here
it
in the
used to
corner.
be where the sidewalk's here and the curb kind of goes up. It was painted about 2 years ago, because I had mentioned to somebody that should be painted, because I tripped over it, because you didn't see it, it just blended in,
Yeah.
and it needs repainted.
I seen a lady yesterday on the slip, if you wanna go across it, it drops a little bit, she hit that little drop off, and I'm not sure she was going down.
Right here on the corner.
Right out in front of the building,
Okay.
that all needs painted, that where that little step down is, or step up.
Okay. Anything else?
Thank you.
We could keep you pretty busy.
Yeah. Not from
I
that.
know they don't have enough time in the day to do everything.
I know, but I figured while we're coming up with this,
Our community planning and economic development, Mark, do you have anything?
Yeah, a couple things. I talked to Nathan Wojtek. He's going to be here tomorrow morning at 8:45. Two of the things we talked about was there's a couple buildings that we requested from the land bank. Steve, did they get you an answer yet?
Not very.
Okay. So we're verifying they were put in. Those would be two buildings on Fallowfield Avenue. And then the other thing I talked to him about, in years past, we had a schedule of roads to be done. We kind of gotten away from that. Just wanted to kind of bounce some ideas off and suggest how, if we want to consider starting next year, getting in rotation so we know, have a 5-year plan on what roads are going to be
Yeah,
done.
we're going to be in jeopardy of losing that, the fuel's not in that.
Right, so he's going to, so, I mean, he's 8:45 tomorrow, he's going to be here, if anybody wants to come in.
You should put those sidewalks on that agenda. Finish, I mean, we did them last summer, we ought to be able to finish, it shouldn't take much to finish those up.
But, you know, if anyone's available, they want to come, we'll be meeting here at the office. And we'll probably walk the town after. And like I said, we'll talk to them about those, the land bank properties. A couple of weeks or something. We thought it was done, talking to Nancy over the weekend, one of the properties, she talked to someone, they thought they were negotiating possibly buy the building from them. So we're just
Well,
trying
two
to.
of them are going up for taxes.
Doesn't say we can check to make sure that they didn't.
Yeah, we're trying to find out.
See if they paid or somebody bought.
Well, whenever they haven't paid it, that's what we asked to have put in the land bank. So we're trying to make sure that was actually done.
Yeah, but they recently been allowing basically a pay up to the sheriff's.
Right. So they may have paid, even though we were requesting it to be done, they may have paid at the very last minute, we're not aware of it. So we're trying to find that out.
Dave could probably find out for you. I mean, he's in the same building with them.
Well, I know Nathan was checking in, he's let me know tomorrow, I'm sure.
Nancy, you have anything?
No, not on that.
Okay. We're going to move on to Parks and Recreation. Jody?
Last week, week and a half ago, was Community Day. We had some people that paid who didn't show up. Some people that showed up, we didn't know they were coming. So,
And some that showed up later, instead of showing up when they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Show.
We had the second band, the weather was too bad for them to go on and perform. So we ended up having to pay them up here. And they weren't, they didn't play, so hopefully next year, like you said, they'll give us a deal, better payment for them. I really haven't heard too much. I had a few comments on Facebook that said that people like the more hometown feel that we have.
There was some hiccups we'll get through it, we knew there were going to be. We have a date for a kind of a wrap-up meeting, didn't we set one? Yeah, we did the last meeting, we set a date for it, I just don't have it with me right now.
Thought we said I'm on top.
Yeah, we have.
That week would be, whatever that Wednesday would be a month. Right.
Well, whatever it is, I mean, the borough will send out to remind us, but I think it's important that whoever can be there, be at that meeting, so we can kind of talk about what worked, what didn't work, and start sooner. I mean, we got a late start on planning this year for circumstances for out of our control.
I don't have anything listed, I usually put it right in my phone.
Yeah, there was the dates you guys picked that day. I remember Lori was saying picking a date, but that's something we'll figure it out. If we don't have it there, we need to get a date soon so we can get that all straightened out, we can start on.
Well, I mean, a couple of your guys mentioned to me that day about bringing back Fireman's Farm and making it, do it together with 4th of July, but don't do it on the 4th of July, do it maybe in August or September. Is there a possibility of something like that?
I never heard, anybody talk about that? I've never heard anybody.
Well, it's
I
actually,
can talk to Glenn about it.
I was actually Glenn, I wasn't
Yeah.
really, yeah, but Glenda mentioned it to me. Don't you do a lot of your activity stuff?
Yeah, like I said, he didn't bring up our last meeting, you got me, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know.
That was since she talked to him, he liked that.
And I like the idea of doing something different. Still have fireworks, but
Right.
don't do it in July.
Yeah.
So we're not competing with everyone else, we be our own.
Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 other places that have fireworks, same
Same
night.
night, yeah.
And festivals.
Because Finleyville was the only place that still has carnival. And it's usually pretty nice. know if, maybe talk to Glenn about it.
Okay.
That was a serious comment, or that was just something,
Just throw it out there.
yeah, thrown out there in the moment.
Okay.
But I told him I would bring it up, and I did.
I never heard of it.
Jerry, before you move on, I do want to give an update in regards to the Veterans Museum. We're working to get our nonprofit status so that we will be able to accept the properties that are going to be donated to us. The Martucci family is going to be donating 2 of their buildings, and the Forlini family will be donating the old Armin's Pizza place. That's going to be a park. We envision that as a park. And the 2 buildings next to it are the Martucci buildings, and those buildings will be used as the museum. So it's Mon Valley Alliance is helping us with getting all of our papers in order so that we can have a nonprofit status. So we're moving forward on that. Once that's completed, then we'll be able to take that property over.
Nancy, Martucci's property, he's got some in bad shape.
Yeah, Mark and I looked at it.
A lot of his stuff's in bad shape.
We said the 2 buildings on the other side of the Martucci Homestead building, we would have to probably be gutted.
You can see them outside my bedroom. At least one of them is still.
Once he ends down here on the fell for the 500 block. There's a pond in one, in the back of one of them down there. Now, I guess he's an 84. I said we sent notice if we get him back, it's the post office not delivering them, but at Eldon, we had Cherry Way back there. Wow.
Okay, I haven't been back there, but I am in contact with her, so I will definitely.
Roberta got the wrath of someone that owns fellow owns case cleaners come in here and raise the cane, and I've been dealing with him with cleaning up and throwing stuff around. This has been a nightmare.
Is he complying?
He's not complying with nothing.
He still don't understand that's his stuff.
He's blaming everybody else but himself,
He doesn't see that stuff matches what's on his property.
And the camera, me and Matt went down and cleaned one of the cameras off, it was full of vines, so we went down and cleaned it off. And it's just right before that property, the question of the camera stops. The camera was lifted up, we get a nail, who was doing what now, but the camera was,
It's down there, it's pretty obvious, those floorboards match up with the porch,
Yeah.
that other stuff matches up with his garage, it's the same material.
And he came up here giving Roberta the business, and, threatened me to get his attorney and everything, all that. Bring him on the borough, we sued before.
All right.
And honestly, wait a minute, you would think if nothing else, it's still his property, but it's not his stuff on it. We want to clean up
That's
your own
what I
property.
told him, Mark. I said, just because it was there when you bought it, it's still your property. You have to clean it up. No, it's brought down from here, and TI dumped it, and he's saying I'm showing partiality to my fireman. Ask Matt, I think I'm harder on the fireman than I am on the rest of the people. Because I don't want to hear the partiality.
There's nothing there that came from that garage across the street, nothing.
It's just, he's, yeah,
All righty.
yep.
We're gonna move on to police. Janine, you have anything?
Just setting up the shoot for the end of September. That's about all I know. That's about all I got.
Nancy?
No, I don't have anything this time.
Anyone else have anything to that?
How about you? Got anything?
I don't actually. Meeting's next Wednesday, if anyone's interested.
You have anything, Chad?
I just have calls that I had to
Yeah.
everybody.
You want to give, you want to give a report? You have it?
Want it?
Yeah. Sure.
Everything else is wanky.
You were so quiet, why you were back there?
We answered 255 calls just in the borough of Charleroi. 8 traffic citations were issued. For the total all municipalities, we answered 417 calls with 11 traffic tickets and 15 criminal arrests for the month of June.
Anyone have any questions? All right, we'll move on to fire and EMS. Heidi's not here. Jody?
I gave Roberta, sorry, Munson. I gave Roberta, we had 58 calls in June. I don't know what the breakdown was of each one. We were pretty busy. Ambulance service is keeping us busy because everybody that lives in town, they're having trouble getting people like every other organization. So we're running calls, they're calling us, hey, get out ahead of us, we're coming from the hospital, or we don't have a medic. And it's not a nightmare, but we're back in the ambulance a lot of times. That's where a lot of the calls are coming from. So, ran the Dunleavy yesterday on one, they couldn't get there in time. And, other than that, we have I think Eddie said our monthly ticket goes off Friday, plus that's pizza night again. And then we have a pellet of beer ticket that goes off at the end of August. It's a $1 ticket for a pellet of beer from Maple Creek Distributor. Then I think our fund drive, maybe our second mailing of our fund drive is probably going to start at the end of the month.
The EMS report is emergency calls 102, fire standby 6, public service 4, for a total of 122.
All right, anyone else have anything? Now we'll move back up to the middle of the page. Discussion items. First one is pay the citizen parking application for 251 9th Street, apartment 106.
Okay. At the last meeting, I had mentioned that people from Shard House should be parking in Shard House parking lot.
Absolutely.
Not taking spots
Right.
on the street. So I asked Steve and Mark to talk to Nathan or Jim Hott about that. And if you want to tell them that.
Yeah, I talked to both Nathan and Jim today. In the Shore House main parking lot, there were 20 stalls, 4 of which are the handicap stalls. Then they have the overflow lot. And Jim says that they have plenty of spaces in their overflow lot. They're really not in a position at this point to add additional handicap. He was surprised when I told him we had this issue because Kathy, who runs things down there, and he called me, he said, let me call her, he called me right back. She wasn't aware of any issue whatsoever or anyone even approaching them saying they didn't install. So I told him that, in my opinion, we have to give a spot on street to our Shard resident first. And that's something they have to deal with. He totally understands that. And I agree with you, Jody, and I talked about this. And that's something they have to handle. They do have more spots available. They're just across the street at the overflow lots, and people who live there don't want to walk across the street. I can appreciate that, but that's something they have to work on internally there. One question he asked me since he knows the name, and I have it there now, is to text him the name who it was, because again, he didn't know anything about it. He did say if anyone has any questions from him, was okay, we're going to call him while we're here, but that's pretty much in a nutshell what he said. So
Yeah, I was wondering that when I saw that it was the Shore House, and we should be putting
we don't have enough space to do that.
And actually,
If they can't get all the way up to the overflow lot, because that's kind of hill, even if they had a spot on McCain, Valley Building on the side of the building.
well, with
But
the,
that's for them to deal with. That's
Right.
their issue that we can't really get involved with.
well, unfortunately, the 2 homes right in the alley behind that, Splino's Funeral Home, just bought those.
He's tearing that down.
And he's tearing it down and going to make parking lot for his funeral home, which they shouldn't do. But that's what made much more sense. And he got a pretty good deal on it.
Well, it's funny, Jim and I talked about that. He said, you don't really want us to tear down the houses because we're not going to pay the same taxes as someone else gives me. So we would actually cost him money. So he actually acknowledged that.
All right, so I still ask for a motion on that, solicitor, even though we discussed it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve that? Do I have a motion to approve 251 9th Street? Guys, for the lack of a motion. All right, go to number 2, non-paid accessible parking application for 210 9th Street.
Second.
So just for my clarification, this would be the one that's an actual resident, correct?
Yes.
Make sure I understand right.
210, is that right across from the Charleroi?
Yes.
Okay,
On the opposite side.
okay. All right, do I have a second on that?
There's one more discussion, just make sure she's very clear, because that's a non-paid, that anyone can park there, so we want to make sure she's very clear on that. Because if they're running into a problem with accessible parking, one of those people may park over there, so just so she's very
We
clear.
explained that, remember, when we had done
Okay.
the application.
Well, this is more in this case, because,
We just denied one in the same area.
right.
All right, do I have a second on that?
So,
Roll call?
Mark Bonarucci?
Yes.
David Kempley?
yes.
Nancy Ellis?
Yes.
Mark Gasner?
Yes.
Jerry Garrica?
Yes.
Janine McKee?
Yes.
Number 3, non-paid accessible parking application for 401.5 Crest Avenue. I'm assuming the half, is that the alley? That's it, Lex. But that, okay, I mentioned that. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Just one question first. So, I'm good with this, how many do we already have on the block?
It's okay, TK checked it out.
Okay.
Mark
Yeah.
Bonarucci?
Yes.
David Kempley?
Yes.
Nancy Ellis?
Yes.
Martin Gasner?
Yes.
Jerry Garrica?
Yes.
And Janine McKee?
Yes.
All right, next would be sanitation. I guess we have the contracts. We have this
That's a discussion item.
discussion item.
We have an executive session tonight.
Do we need one?
I wouldn't mind discussing the bid process, just briefly.
Well, since we have, it says personnel issue with DIU,
Okay,
so
well,
we can
we
put it together with that.
yes.
Anyone have a problem with that? Okay, we move on. Authorize solicitor in Mackin to investigate grant monies for 13th Street repairs. Motion, please. Second, by Nancy.
Jay, I know that you said you reached out to Representative Cook's office today, did they ever get back to you?
Of course not.
And at the May meeting, he told us he would get some answers.
And I let the guy know that I talked to, it's been 10.5 weeks since he promised us that he was going to find information for us and bring it to us and help us out. And all he said was, oh, fine,
When
I'll
we,
get right on it.
well, when him and I had our discussion last night,
Is that what it was?
that was one of
That was
our,
that finger was?
that one of our discussions, he really never gave me an answer when I asked him that. He told me he was talked to DCD and then, of course, he told me.
Well, we know where that stands. We'll, Steve and I will get back to you guys with something next week. It won't take that long.
Thank
I'm
you.
still going.
The programs are what they are, they'll take.
I'm sure he'll return your call before mine.
He's not returning anybody's calls from Roy.
So, where are we going at? Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll call, then?
Authorizing them to look into the grant.
Yeah, okay. Roll call?
Mark Bonarucci?
Yes.
David Kempley?
Yes.
Nancy Ellis?
Yes.
Mark Gasner?
Yes.
Jerry Garrica?
Yes.
Janine McKee?
Yes.
Next one is new map pamphlet for the borough. You want to explain that one? Roberta?
The email is in here. It's to remake this pamphlet. that we send out to new home voters, anybody that comes in the office, it's information about our town, a map. Advertisers will pay for the booklet. We did this about 5 years ago. And it does need updated because there's all this information.
And who does the updating?
Well,
They do.
whenever they come in, I would give them all the new
You'll
information.
give them all the notes. Okay.
And it won't cost you very
Right,
much.
it's free, right? All right, can I have a motion on that? Motion. Second? Second. And roll call.
Sure.
Whatever, but.
Mark Bonarucci?
Yes.
Jody Chapman?
Yes.
Nancy Ellis?
Yes.
Mark Gessner?
Yes.
Gary Jericho?
Yes.
Jenny Lichtenstein?
Yes.
All right, last one, Community Park, DCNR grant request. You have that?
That's from, that grant from Long Valley Alliance.
Nancy, you want to speak to that one?
Yes, Ben had requested that we would agree to make a motion, and the motion would be to approve the Borough of Charleroi to maintain the riverfront improvements should the Mon Valley Alliance be awarded a DCNR improvement grant, and to provide a letter of support in connection with the grant application. So the letter is right in our packet, and they were requesting that we would approve this letter and to make the motion that we would agree to maintain the riverfront improvements if they do in fact get the grant, correct?
Right. And this is typically what we do with other similar grants. In fact, we already maintain different areas that have been funded through grants. So what they're asking is not out of line, it's perfectly appropriate. Nancy has been really leading this effort with Ben, and she's looped me in all the correspondence. We've had opportunities to review it. I would recommend the borough does supply it. Again, it's conditional. You're not taking on any obligations unless the grant is approved. Improvements are funded through the grant. So if the grant is approved, those improvements are made, that's when the borough's obligations would trigger. So right now, we're just sending a letter of support for the grant and making that commitment. So it doesn't use any borough funds or resources.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Question. Which park road is this for, down 6th Street or down 2nd Street?
Second Street.
Yeah.
The other,
Because it don't specify.
the other hasn't taken place yet. We're still in we're still in the planning stages of that. We actually still have to get some legal things taken care of first.
In fact, I think Ben had offered to come to council and talk about that plan. I reached out to their solicitor, Mr. Papasergi, yesterday on that issue, and I thought it was premature that they would come in now and make that presentation.
Right,
But I do know, Mark, they would like to come in the near future and update council on sort of what their whole vision is for that area.
Right.
No, I agree. Ben and I talked regularly, but there's some legal things that have to be taken care of before we can get
That
that.
sets that, that's why I thought it would make sense to come in.
It'd be a little jumping ahead of ourselves. We're hoping soon, and we're hoping it'll still be this year. I mean, we have a full plan to be able to do this year.
All right, can I have a motion? Motion. Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Mark Bonarucci?
Yes.
Jody Chapman?
Yes.
Nancy Ellis?
Yes.
Mark Gessner?
Yes.
Gary Jericho?
Yes.
And Jenny Lichtenstein?
Yes.
All right, we've got a few things on executive session. We may have to vote. What?
Just got a couple things, real quick. The air conditioner in the main office is a much smaller one than what the old one used to be, and it's not keeping up. It's too big of a room. Bobby no longer has an air conditioner. I'm proposing that we take the smaller one in Holly Borough office, move it into Bobby's office, because he's been coming over and working with them to set up in there, and getting them a bigger deal air conditioner.
The police department needs one too.
Yeah,
Because
that's
theirs does not work at all.
that was the one that was in his
They're
office.
utilizing Eric's office. the one in the squad room? Since when?
The time I just left 3 hours ago.
Well, you said the one in your office.
Mine's, yeah, I'm worried
I'm
about
not worried
mine.
about you.
I'm not worried about mine either.
Well, I think,
They only, for some reason, that one in the control room didn't work for one afternoon, and one of the guys come in,
I know, you messed with it.
and it's been working ever since. It hasn't missed a beat. I mean, at least not back for.
well, if we need anything else done,
Seven.
we can consider maybe splitting it with the police board for that down there. We need to get some pricings on the, probably need like 12,000 BTU in there.
Because Stacy kept complaining that she was caught over at her desk. She's almost straight across from it. If you're sitting at the table, you can feel it. It clear over there. I was sitting there today while Louie was running the super, and it was quite warm over there.
At least for your hot, it's 50 outside.
I'm saying,
He is, I heard it too.
write that down.
Get some prices on that, and I don't think, that's nothing we really have to, as long as it's in the budget we needed.
And the other thing, and he has to check on this tomorrow, is everybody knows that the water shut off. And that's out.
Okay,
So,
can we verify that?
you're gonna call.
I'll get out and look.
Okay, Laura.
There's supposed to be a sign on the door that shut off. I'll talk to Kellen Harris.
You sure it's not, do they have two different meters, one for the restaurant, one for the living
I'll
space?
find out tomorrow morning.
That's what we need to find out, yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
Jerry, I have a couple things that Joe's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
As Dr. Bajolov said, we will be having a fundraiser, and we're calling it Kitty Palooza. And it's going to be July 31st from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And it'll be at the Tap Factory out in Belleville Township. And our guest bartenders for the evening will be Commissioner Diana Irie Vaughn and her husband, Colonel Robert Vaughn, our very own solicitor, Stephen DeCranny, and Councilman Mark Altrisi. We will be having a 50-50 drawing. We'll be having auction baskets, and I want to speak to that for a minute. Anybody, if you can collect a basket or donate a basket, we would deeply appreciate that. And we'll also be accepting monetary donations or gift cards. And we will be collecting bags of cat food and cans of food and treats. I want to say that our guest hosts for the night will be Matt Uram and Frank Scandell, the clerk of courts of the county. And our guest hostesses are Rory Spina, Lisa Stout Basham, and Leanna Hopkins Spada. And anyone interested in giving a donation or donating a basket can contact me. And any other information you would like, please feel free to contact me on that. The flag program's going very good. We've already taken applications for 17 flags. I believe that the Veterans Council, the Grand Marshals are going to be, is that a definite now?
Yes, at the meeting the other night, decided their speaker at the luncheon will be Al Benyak. As far as the Grand Marshal of the parade itself, they are getting, anyone who knows any World War II veterans, they like to honor as many World War II veterans, and are trying to get cars for each one of them possible, with plans to put a sign magnet on the side of the car with their name and what branch they served in.
So please, if you know of a World War II veteran from, are we doing just the Charleroi area?
They didn't say just Charleroi, so I think, any World War II veterans, I don't think they're going to, they didn't say yes or no to that. I can't
We'll
see.
get a clarification on that, but for this point, if you know a veteran of Charleroi that is a World War II veteran, please let us know so that we can reach out to that person.
Julie mentioned something.
Sam.
Yeah.
Kara.
Oh, yeah, we told him.
Yeah, we've already talked to him.
Yeah, we told him we're putting him in a car. He's all happy.
He was a little reluctant when I first talked to him, and then he must have thought about it while Nancy talked to him, and he said, "Oh, excited."
And I wanted to say that the boxing, the cave boxing, is interested in using the third floor upstairs, so we're going to need to.
And Steve, question Nancy at the third floor for the cave boxing, there's no sprinkler over there. We have to have sprinklers, correct?
Yeah, this is an issue we looked at last year when there was discussion about putting the third floor to some type of use.
Right.
We have a host of issues up there, the least of which would probably be insurance as well. So I don't know if we can talk to our carrier using it for that type of activity, so I think we should start there. And I don't believe it's sprinkled.
We told them to look into event insurance too.
I didn't think we could, as a borough, if it wasn't sprinkled. Now, is it a private building, does the third floor have to be sprinkled, or just a public building is sprinkled?
No, the sprinkler requirements uniform in the building.
It's uniform for your public or private? Wasn't sure of that.
I have one other thing. Dave Bard,
Oh, no, that's it.
actually Dave Bard, who had the, I guess, fall festival last year, Oktoberfest, I'm not sure what he called it, is again interested in doing that for the borough. And what did we call it? Charleroi Oktoberfest. He sponsored it. He let it be named for the borough. He at this time is looking at two different dates, September 21st or October 12th. They're waiting to confirm this one particular band, and then we'll be able to get a definite on that to the council. So we just wanted to let you know that we are looking to do that. And hopefully it's going to be bigger and better this year than last year. We have a lot of other things planned in with that.
Good. Anyone else have anything? Jody, you want to read that from the library?
John K. Tenner Library in Charleroi will be hosting a Super Seconds Flea Market on Friday, September 6th and Saturday, September 7th, 2019. And they would like to invite the community to participate. They are inviting individuals in the community to schedule their own sales on the same day at their own homes. We're also asking local businesses to participate by offering a special or having a sidewalk sale of their own. For more information or for any other questions, please call Jody, not me, at 412-209-8415, or call the library at 724-483-8282.
All right, anyone else have anything? All right, we have a few things on the executive session we have to speak about. We may have to vote, so if you feel the need to stay around for the vote, you're welcome to. You guys want to step out in the hallway?